Good afternoon and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. I hope you guys are well. You will notice that my voice is slightly improved. Or at least I don't sound like I've got a cold. Anyway, been to work today, thought I'd come back and start cracking on with the reviews. As I said, when I was ill, we kind of fell massively behind. So basically just trying to catch up a little bit. Anywho, we'll talk about this one today, which is from a company based in Switzerland called Gisada. And the fragrance in question is this one, and it's called Ambassador. So has the Ambassador been spoiling us with these fragrances? Well, those of you that are old enough to remember that reference to a Ferrero Rocher advert that used to appear in the UK at Christmas won't have a clue what I'm on about. This is a perfume that suddenly, it's come on the radar quite a lot lately. Actually, lots of people in the UK frag community seem to be talking about it. Now, I bought this a while ago in the summer, and I was meant to review it back then, and I'm glad I didn't for a few reasons. Firstly, when I tried it in hot weather, it wasn't for me. But it's quite an interesting story because on paper this fragrance isn't for me at all. But I blind bought it, and like everybody, when you blind buy, which is something I don't like to advocate, something I've been complaining about for a long time, but I still do it. Generally, when I've had a bit of, when you blind buy, sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss, or sometimes it kind of floats about in between. But when you are blind buying, it's always important to do your due diligence. Like you, I go to Fragrantica, I look at a few reviews, there's a few YouTubers that I trust, and I kind of didn't do any of that with this one, apart from just a quick courtesy flick through Fragrantica. And I looked at the notes and the way people were describing the fragrance and thought, there's absolutely nothing there that makes me want to buy this fragrance. Yet somehow I bought it. And I'll tell you why I bought it, because one of the European wholesalers had it going very cheap. And I love a bargain. So this was a bargain. I mean, to get this full price, I think, if you look on sort of Parfum Dreams and places like that, it's around the £70 mark. So it's, I suppose it is a niche company. I mean, I think Gisada have been around sort of since 2013, and they do male and female fragrances, and they do some candles. I think that's all they do. So I suppose this is a niche fragrance. Just in terms of they're not a designer house, they don't sell anything other than fragrance. So I'm not going to get into that whole what's niche, what's indie, what's designer, blah, blah, blah. Life's too short for that. So anyway, I bought this one against, if you know me, you'll know that one of the fragrances that I reference for the thrusters will be Sauvage. I'm not a massive fan of overly sweet fragrances. I don't particularly like massively fruity fragrances. And I certainly don't like fragrances that are referred to as a cross between Herba Pura, Sauvage and Kirk. Three fragrances that I can honestly say I'm not that keen on. And that's what this is often described as a mix of these three. So what the hell I was playing at, I don't know. But I'm glad I've got it, simply because everyone seems to be talking about it at the moment, and it's nice to be able to wear something to form an opinion. I could have got a sample of it, a 2ml sample from someone, and that would have given me, one wearing properly to go to take something apart. So I've got this. I knew I was going to review it today, so today I've worn it to work. I have worn it a few times since it's cooled down, but today was particularly cold, so I thought I would give it a run out today, and that way I can give it a real fair assessment. I like to wear things at work, just so I can get a handle on performance and all the rest of it. So what we'll do, in the usual format, we'll have a quick look at the bottle. Bottle's okay. I like this little bit around the cap. Sprayer's perfunctory. It's not the best. The atomizer's kind of like it. I don't really want to spray it because it'll fog the house out, but it kind of goes ka-dum. It's not. There's no sort of flow to it. It's very much a squirty kind of thing. But the bottle looks okay. There's a sticker on the bottom, that kind of thing. Cap is actually quite heavy. It's not like a cheap plastic one. So overall, I've got about 1 million different bottles that look like this. So there's nothing original about it, but it's not bad. It's heavy, it's clean, it feels well made apart from the sprayer. But there you go. What we'll do, I'm wearing it today. Now, I have worn it to work, and I've come home, I've since showered, so in a very rare situation, I've reapplied the same fragrance, which is not something I particularly like to do. But what I will do is I'll spray a little bit more now to just to recapture that opening. And then what we'll do is we'll go through the notes and we'll have a chat about the fragrance, and I will let you know what I think. Right, well, first and foremost, I think, good Lord, this is sweet. And while that sweet bomb is starting to mellow down a bit. We'll have a look at the notes. So on the top, you have apple, you have cardamom, you have green mandarin, and you have violet. Then in the mid, you have mango, black pepper, lavender, patchouli, peony, vanilla on the base with amber, teak wood, and musk. And moss, apparently. Okay, so the perfume was created by Andreas Wilhelm. I don't know anything else that he's done. I haven't really researched him, so I may have bits and bobs from him. I'm not sure. So I can't really reference anything else that he's done. But this opening, my lord, gosh, it's sweet. It really is sweet. It's apple and mandarin. You don't really. It's just that. There's reference to violet, which is another. I mean, why was I buying this? I don't even like violet. Thankfully, the violet's not really noticeable at all for me, especially in this stage. You can't. It's just fruit. And then it kind of dries. The dry down's completely different. It calms right down. But in the middle, I think the main culprit of this sweetness is the mango, because it really is. It's just this fruity bomb. And if you've tried Herbapura and you've got this melange of fruits that just sort of explodes and envelops in this sort of sticky, sweet compote, that's what's going on here. There's nothing really going on other than bright, sweet fruit. But it's almost like the fruits have been, rendered into a compote, had sugar, then kind of gelatine and all sorts to make a massive, sweet, chewy thing. And it's I don't know, it gets on my nerves a bit. But this morning, this is what surprised me. Once I was in the house and sprayed it, and I thought, I really wish I hadn't done that. Why didn't I wear something else? And I've got a whole shift ahead of me, and I'm not going to enjoy this. By the time I walked sort of 20 minutes, it was like, oh, okay, it's all right, it's calming down quite nicely. And then in the mid, this is where it gets quite interesting to me. The mango is still there, but as I'm trying to explain, it's difficult to say I can pick out every single fruit, because I can't, I'll be honest with you. Some fragrances, like Kenzo's Jungle Elephant, you really get the mango. With this, it just kind of adds more sweetness and more sugary, saccharine, fructosey kind of fruit, and that's it. And then the black pepper and the lavender start to lead this charge. There is a kind of a whisper of patchouli, but it's not like a fruituli, or, my favourite of that kind of thing would be Tower's Fruituli Flash. It's not like that. You just get a hint of something a bit more earthy. It would take a bloodhound to pick patchouli out as a note in the middle of all this that's going on. But the lavender is quite prominent, and that lavender seems to be the base of where it kind of... where the mid comes in. The lavender draws a line under all the crazy sweet nonsense on the top, and then it starts to become still sweet but a lot more ambery, and then it dries down into this kind of woodsy base. There is a ton of ambroxan in this, and this is where I think that people are saying that it reminds them of Sauvage. And there are, I can see why they're saying that. If you swapped out the citrus for a more meaty fruit like a mango and made Sauvage like that, then you wouldn't be a mile away, too far away from what this fragrance actually is. The vanilla in the base it's sweet enough. You can't add sweet on sweet and make things sweeter. It's like you can't boil sugar and then boil more sugar to make it sweeter. It doesn't work like that. It's as sweet as it's going to get. So what the vanilla is there for, it's more there for texture. You couldn't make this any sweeter if you tried. This is as sweet as it gets. Some people are saying it's a bit like Armani's Stronger With You. Could be, don't know. I don't know that fragrance very well. I've only tried it in store once and thought, well, that's sweet, and that was enough for me. So, it does beg the question, how the hell did I end up with this? But I've got it. Now, yes, as the base comes out, the sweetness does calm down a little, but it's still incredibly sweet. But it does become a little bit more like an ambroxan bomb. And that's where I think the Sauvage kind of comes into it. But it's wearable. Do you know what I mean? It's not for me. But I'm not the target market for this, all right? I'm old. This, if I'd got this 20 years ago, yeah, I'd have probably really, really liked it. But for me now, it's just too sweet. On a really cold day, like today, or what's going to be colder, I'll probably give it another grab and go for it then, because it's something quite comforting about the sweet fruits on a cold day. But as I said, tried it in the summer. Did not work for me. Might work for you though. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the perfume. It's actually a good perfume. It's not designed for me. Performance is brilliant, by the way. This lasts a very long time. It's got good projection and good sillage. The sillage is everywhere. It seems to arrive before you do. So, if you want a look at me kind of fragrance that's really, really sweet, and it's because of the sweetness. I know I keep banging on about it. it's going to be popular. It's going to be one that's going to get you compliments. People are going to like the smell of you when you're wearing this. If you know, there's nothing to dislike just apart from that level of saccharin. So there you go. And now we'll just have a quick chat about who could possibly wear it. Well, to be honest with you, I've got to say it. This is a thruster's paradise. This is what I imagine the thrusters wake up at night, stay up at night dreaming about, is this. This is tailor-made for those that like loud, sweet, hooligan fragrances. And that's what this is. It's loud and it's sweet. It's got great projection, great sillage. It lasts a long, long time. If you were going out on the pool for a night out and you wanted to emit, sort of mating signals, this would probably be brilliant for it, and vice versa, because of the fruitiness of it. I think younger ladies would really, really like it as well. For grizzly, miserable, old, curmudgeonly fragrance enthusiasts like me, it's a bit of a miss, in all honesty. But I'm not knocking it. I'm just letting you know that I don't particularly like it. However, you might. I think it's a well-made perfume. There's a ton of what comes across as a ton of ambroxan, so it's not. Don't expect sort of all natural smelling niche beauty. You're not going to get that. What you're going to get is a designer style fragrance that can keep up with the best of them that do this sort of thing. So if you like sweet, loud, shouty perfumes, you won't go far wrong with this, especially at the price as well. I mean, this is a lot cheaper than a lot of the high street designers of that kind of ilk. So if you are into very, very fruity, sweet perfumes, give it a go. And as I said, and I have said, and I will keep saying, it's not for me, but it may well be for you. I'm not bashing it at all. I think it's good value. I think everything about it is good, apart from it's just not pitched at someone like me. I think Rich would be repulsed by it. He's even worse than me for not liking sweet fragrances, so I won't be sending it up to him to try. Now, have you tried a Gisada Ambassador? And if so, please let us know what you think of it. I mean, as you've well and truly gathered by now, it's not for me, but, I'd like to find out what people do like from it. Just as a quick word, though, there's a slight pepperiness in the mid that hits in with that lavender, and that kind of really does boost things a bit, and it takes away a little of the sweetness. But again, I think my issue with wearing it today was I enjoyed it once that initial opening blast had kind of sort of calm down a bit. But I think overall the whole fragrance experience was a little too sweet for me. But please let us know if you've had a go at it. I believe there's like an X straight coming out as well, so God knows what that's going to be like. I don't think I'll be rushing to try it. This is going to be enough for me, and I think if we meet again in 10 years there'll probably be a little bit more taken out of that, but not a lot. So there you have it, my take on Gisada Ambassador. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back very soon with another video. Cheers, thanks, and bye!